Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I want to do a quick video talking about what I bring with me on the plane for flights. And this is pretty similar to a video I did last year about tech that I bring with me on a short international trip, but this is more specific to the flight itself, so let's get into it. So I want to start off with items that are in pretty much everyone's everyday carry to some extent. So starting off, we have my Samsung S23. I always travel with this. I always have this on me whenever I go out. And also my wallet. This is just a 4 or 5 card holder from Tory Burch. This is what I use at home. I don't like buying too many things that are travel specific, and I usually only travel with cards anyways, so this meets my needs just fine. Some people might be asking about keys, and I usually don't travel with keys because I have other arrangements where I don't need to bring my keys on my trip. The only situation where that will usually happen is if I have to drive myself to the airport, but usually a friend or family is willing to give me a ride, so I don't need to worry about that. And I really want to avoid bringing my keys because it's not an item I'm really going to use when I'm at my destination. Moving on to some more unique items, I do also travel with my Anbernic RG35XX 2024 for entertainment purposes, and I choose this over my Switch just due to the sheer size difference. This is my Nintendo Switch with the MobiPad M6S on here, and these are chonkers. The Switch is pretty large, and in comparison, you can see this is very small relative to the Switch. While this device won't let me play the newest Nintendo games, it does let me revisit a lot of the games that I grew up with, as well as ROM hacks of those games. The most notable one that I've been playing recently has been Pokemon Prism. That's been a lot of fun as it adds a new region to the original second gen games, so that's been a really unique experience. Moving on to audio, I do bring both my Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 and the Galaxy Buds Live, as well as a set of wired IEMs. These are the Truth Ear Critical Zeros, and these I really like using for any gaming system I'm bringing, as they seal well in my ear. So I do get some of that isolation, which really helps, especially when I'm playing something like a rhythm game. Now, when looking at these two earbuds, I do use these two for different scenarios. The Galaxy Buds 2 being a more traditional in-ear, actually sealing inside of your ear. I use these on the plane with the active noise canceling on, so I can still hear a little bit of my surroundings, but it brings down the airplane noise quite a bit, so it's actually tolerable. Whereas the Galaxy Buds Live being a semi-in-ear, they don't actually block out outside noise. In fact, it lets quite a lot of it in. And these I prefer when I'm, say, walking around the airport, which I like doing. I like to stretch my legs before getting onto a plane and sitting down for a long time. And a lot of different airports have different things to offer, so it's nice to have a look to see what's going on. Another reason why I like these earbuds so much is because I personally have this thing where if I can't hear my surroundings in a loud environment, my body does this weird thing where it just like freaks out. I get hit with a bunch of anxiety, start panicking. It's really weird, and I have to stop what I'm doing and tell myself to breathe. I don't like that feeling, so because of that, I usually rock these if I'm not in an excessively noisy environment. Moving on to batteries, I've switched over to this Anker 5000 milliamp hour battery, mainly because it's small. Here is a card for comparison, and I also like it because it has this integrated USB-C plug, but if this does ever happen to break, I can also use this USB-C port for in and out, so I do have some options there. I used to bring battery banks like this one that are closer to 10,000 milliamp hours. However, after a few trips, I did realize that I wasn't using these battery banks very often, so I just wanted something in case of an emergency, in case if my phone's about to die. So something smaller like this works perfectly fine, and this will charge my phone about 1.5 times, so this is plenty for me. Moving on to charging, I'm using this Invzi, I don't know how to say that, but it's a 66 watt charging brick, and it has two USB-C ports and a single USB-A port. And this USB-A port is what led me to opt for this brick, because charging devices like the RG35XX, I have heard some horror stories where using the USB-C port to charge these devices can kill it, and I want to avoid that, especially if I'm on a trip. So going with a lower power USB-A port is the way to go. If you watched my previous video, you'll know that I used to use this Anker 45-watt charger with a single USB-C port on the front, and there's a couple reasons why I moved away from this. The first one being that it only has one USB-C port, and while for most cases this is enough for me, I do like having the flexibility of having multiple USB-C ports. In the off chance, say I forget to charge my phone and earbuds the night before, I'm usually pretty good about doing that, but in the off chance I do forget, having that flexibility is pretty nice. And also this device is very cube-shaped, and this makes it tough to pack, especially in smaller pockets in bags. So I didn't really like the shape of this. Packing this in a bag, in a sling or something like that is really uncomfortable, especially if you have a bag with a thin back and you end up feeling this against your body. Not a great feeling. If anyone's looking for a cheaper option though, I really like this brick from Aohi, I don't know how to say that, because it does have two USB-C ports charging at 20 watts each or 40 watts singular, and it has these flip down prongs, which is really nice. And I really like how it just flips down, whereas these have some resistance on them. I don't really like that, but these just flip up and down smoothly. And this is slim. This is very easy to pack into whatever bag you're bringing. I really like this form factor, and it's also why I went for this brick, because of course it's going to be chunkier, but not by a whole lot. It's actually pretty similar in size and gives me more flexibility. I don't think I need to show this, but of course I do bring cables to accompany this brick. So 2 USB-C to C cables and 1 USB-A to C cable, USB-C all the things. And although that, I guess, movement is happening a lot slower than some of us would like, all of my devices currently support USB-C, so I don't really have to worry about that. Most of these things I want to keep on my person when I'm traveling, so to do so, I use the Alpaca GoSling Nano. This is a very small sling, a 1.6 liter sling. Again, card for comparison, pretty small, but let's pack this out. Let's quickly go over this bag. So this is the X-Pack version, so it's made of X-Pack, and while it is a crinkly fabric, it is also very water resistant. And to aid in that, we have AquaGuard zippers here to help with water getting into the bag. I also really like this orange lining on the inside, which helps seeing your items within the bag. I really appreciate that. We also have this microfiber lined section for any like electronics. However, I think I prefer fleece. I don't know, it feels like pretty abrasive, and fleece or felt would be a lot softer and smoother. Just my opinion there, not really anything to complain about. We also have these two kind of mesh pockets. It's not really, I guess it's a stretch mesh, but it's not as stretchy as other ones that I've seen. We also have this front pocket, also orange lined with a key leash, which I don't really use. And we also have this small back pocket here. It's not zippered, which I don't really like, because normally on a sling, I would put a passport back here, but it doesn't really fit in here. So let's start packing this out. First off, the RG35XX will go into the main compartment like so, and some people might think I'm crazy for putting it into this pocket, but if I put it into the back one, I end up feeling the shape of the device a little bit, which isn't that pleasant. And I also do have a screen protector on here, so I'm not all that worried about it. I also throw my wired IEMs in here into the main pocket next to the RG35XX. The reason for that is because anytime I use the wired IEMs, I'm probably using this device, so kind of goes hand in hand. For the earbuds, I put them in the stretch mesh pockets, one in each, because I tried fitting 2 in 1, doesn't really work out. And that's pretty much going to be it for this main pocket. If I am carrying a passport, I'll usually put it back here, as well as my wallet and phone if I need to put it away for whatever reason. But otherwise, that's everything that I put into this section. Apart from that, this battery bank will go into this front pocket. Just kind of throw it in, zip it up. And that's pretty much it. 4 items that were mentioned but not packed away into the sling. The phone and the wallet go into my pockets, whereas the wall charger goes into whatever larger carry-on luggage I'm bringing, usually a backpack or something like that. And that's because I don't really see myself using this on the plane. I'll mainly use this right before a flight and at my destination. But on a flight that's less than 6 hours, I don't really see myself using this on the plane itself, mainly because the plugs on airplanes tend to be unreliable and there's often just one shared among two people, so that can be a little bit annoying. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much everything tech related that I bring with me on a trip, especially on planes. And so I really tried to cut down on things because I felt like last time I went on a trip, I was bringing a lot of tech and it ended up being cumbersome at some points. With good reason, I had a reason to bring all that tech, but it made me realize I could cut down in a lot of places, like the battery bank, for instance. If I were to get rid of anything else, I'd probably get rid of the wired IEMs because I only really use them when I'm playing rhythm games. And so it requires me to do two things, right? Playing a game, and that game happens to be specifically a rhythm game. But I could be playing something like Pokemon, Mega Man, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, even though I know it's not the most popular Pro Skater game, it is my favorite. Deal with it. So these I could probably do without. If I were playing those other games, I could just listen to music using these on my phone, so I wouldn't have to carry these with me. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions about anything that I mentioned in this video, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible, as always. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time, goodbye!